Hello everybody. Okay, just doing a bit of an update because I'm a bit pissed off. I've had a good clean up in here. That's not why I'm pissed off. Listen, I'm pissed off because it would appear I have done nowhere near as good a job on the repairs on these items as I thought I had. Going through the cleaning process of vacuuming up and vacuuming all of the timbers. I'll just grab one now. I've not cleaned them with white spirit, so there's no point. But for example, that is not what I would expect from me. I mean, I know that I did fill in on there, but it literally, yeah, it's almost like I've done nothing. I mean, there is some in there, but I have just not done anywhere near a good enough job. So although the processes I was using, I do believe were right, I think it needs more. So what I'm actually thinking is, I mean, I'm not going to do it today because I'm annoyed with myself, but it's one of those things where, I mean, if I hadn't have vacuumed these, I may not have spotted this until it was too late. But because I did spot it. So there's quite a bit that needs redoing. I mean, to be fair, it is most of the deeper ones that haven't come up very, very good. And I think what I'm probably going to do there is I will go with mixing glue and sawdust. I mean, I didn't go searching for anything, but I did happen to... What was I watching? I can't remember exactly now what it was I was watching, but I was watching something, and yeah, they mixed sawdust and glue together, and so I mean, I do think it's the right way to go. So that's probably what I'll do for the next lot, because it's all been treated, it's all had an application or two. So I think now it'd be a case of fill those holes. Now I could just fill it with glue, but it's just glue then, it's not going to polish up or anything. Whereas if I've got the sawdust mixed in, it'll make a big difference. Now, I am pissed off with myself because I haven't done a good enough job, and that is why I'm not doing them today. Although it's pissed me off, I'm not going to go ahead and try and do it today, not with how my hand was hurting earlier. So, it's interesting, right? I've been out, I actually went out to go and do a bit of shopping and stuff for, an hour and a bit. I've not had a sniffle, I've not sneezed, I've not had a single problem. But as soon as I come back here, where all the dust has been, my nose is fucking going overtime. I mean, even last night, going from my living room and walking through here into my bedroom, literally, by the time I'd got through that door, I was sneezing. So a bit of a ball ache, so I might use the vacuum more often while I'm sanding and stuff. But yeah, so anyway, with the sawdust in the glue, hopefully it'll be able to give me I'll be able to fill more. And then I can get it tidied off. I mean, to be fair, all of the wood is now very nicely sanded, but I do need to touch it up some more. Now, the only thing, I've been trying to sort of rack my head around how I went from yesterday, where it was filling the holes perfectly, everything was fine, to today, it's not worked. And I think part of it is because I'd put the glue down and then wiped off the excess, and then I put the sawdust down on it, it's a very thin layer of glue that the sawdust is sticking to, so then I'm getting a very thin layer of sawdust. And when I've vacked it, obviously it's pulled up anything that's not fixed down. So yes, I've got a very thin layer of sawdust in all of the bits that I've done, but nowhere near enough. So that's where maybe, okay, yeah, let's mix it up with sawdust and glue, and I can perhaps apply it using, well, not necessarily using, but I can apply it onto, I mean, for example, on here. I mean, I expected this to come up a lot better than it has done, but I mean, I've got a nice shape to it now, even if it doesn't look like it. But so with this, I can reapply on there, and then I can use the card to make sure that it's pushed down into all the areas that it needs to be. A bit like when doing the waxing, it's pushing it down into the places it needs to get, and then wiping off the excess. See, that's the difficult bit with the glue, wiping off the excess, because if I try to wipe off the excess, I'm potentially going to move the glue, but I'm going to have to go for it and try anyway. But I decided for today, I'm going to slow down, I'm going to take my time, I'm going to cook myself a curry, which is going to take, well, it'll cook in the oven for a good 2 or 3 hours, because I like to nicely slow cook my curries. And I've not been eating too great recently, so I decided, no, you know what, fucking, you need to sort yourself out, get your dinner at a reasonable time, not at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning, because it doesn't help. And the thing is, I've been trying to make sure recently that there is a minimum 3 hours between me eating and sleeping, which means if I'm not eating till 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm not getting to bed till gone 4 in the morning. So I need to make sure that I'm eating earlier. So I'm going to chill out for the rest of today and feast. So anyway, I'm going to see you on the next clip. Hello everybody. Right, it's the day after the frustration, and I thought I'd got myself all prepared, and to be honest, I hadn't. Right. Okay, so it's time for me to mix up some glue, some sawdust, and take my time really. Now you might be wondering why I'm wearing the mask for doing gluing. Well, it's still, the wood's dusty still, so yeah, the wood's dusty still, so I'm trying not to end up sneezing all fucking day because of it. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to try and take my time with this today. May have to try a couple of different kinds of techniques regarding how I apply it, how I clean it, and so on. And basically what I'm going to want with the glue is a consistency a lot like putty. So at the moment this is, I mean, it's not bad, but it's still quite liquidy. I want it a bit more than that so that I can really fill some holes, because obviously that's the plan for this. And obviously when I'm mixing this up, it doesn't matter if I put too much sawdust in, because I can just add a bit of glue, which I might have to do in a minute, because now it's definitely not a lot of liquid now. But the thing is, that might actually, that fucking mask is going up my fucking, in my face, in my eyes. Now this might work quite well. I'm just looking to see. Okay. Now this could get a little bit messy, which I don't mind too much, but the plan is to apply some and then try and get it levelled off. Which might be easier said than done. I mean, this could end up being considerably messier than my normal approach. And it might take a number of things to try. So I don't know whether going over it. I'll try these two. Yeah, you see that's taken too much off. Not that you can see. And one problem with doing it like this way, I mean doing it this way, as I'm doing it right now, yes, could get the gaps filled, but could leave me with nasty excess marks, which it is kind of doing. I'll try to take that off now. So this is where trying a couple of different techniques is going to come in handy. So I've tried applying it with that. Let's try applying it with this. I think it's not easy to just get a tiny little bit of this. If I'm able to take a slightly more delicate approach, maybe I'll have more success. Okay, I'm going to leave that as that is. I was going to say I could do with turning that over, but I'm not going to. I will just put that over there because I don't want the glue to become victim to gravity. I mean, not all of the repairs I've done are substandard. But a few of them really are. I'll just spin this one around. I mean, I may be being a little bit too picky with it as well. I mean, some of these I could probably leave, but ones like this one, no, I can't. because it does just look, it looks like a substandard repair. It doesn't even look like it's been repaired, to be fair. I mean, okay, let's try the, obviously I'll put that in. So let's try wiping it off, and then giving it another that might just add to the top layer. It might not work, but we'll find out. I'm just thinking it might allow me to do this. That's actually considerably better, and I can get rid of some of the excess as well. Okay, that might not be too bad. That might be the way to go then. So put a bit in. Wipe it off. Now, whether this will work on a fuller hole, a deeper hole, I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. I've got one there. I mean, it's a tiny little bit, but I'd rather do it. And while we're as well, I'm going to do that one. It's off camera, I know, but tough. Right, so wipe it off. Don't think it's worked there. I think when I've wiped it off, it's taken too much away. I mean, one thing I will say is I'm not intending on doing this many more times, so I don't want to be spending loads of times going over these things 4 or 5 times, but I don't mind spending a bit of time finding out a handy technique to use. Okay. Let's pop that one over there. So let's see. So these were, I think, the first ones that I did. So they're a bit messy, but pretty full. I mean, they could still do with being touched up, but right, this side is piss poor. I mean, this here, I filled that, and yeah, that's piss poor. And there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this side of them. So I think it's time to fill these fuckers up. I'm going to try and do this big one first. Excuse me. Now I could just leave it sort of big and messy like it is there, but that's not what I want. Obviously, yes, I want the gaps filling, but I want to do it in the tidiest way I can. Okay, so that is much better. Now I probably could have and should have gone a bit more on the taking the excess off, but I didn't want to mess up the situation I'd created by trying to make it cleaner, and ended up fucking it up. Because hopefully it should end up with a nice clean coating. Now I've gone a little bit too aggressive on it there. Actually, rather than putting out. So this is where I'm thinking about it. If I've gone a little bit too aggressive and I've got a little bit of a hole, this is a risk, but because instead of going down, it could pick. Yeah, it's trying to pick up. Bit of an awkward situation, that. Right, I'm going to leave it at that for now. We'll see what it's like when it gets sanded off. Bit of an awkward one that though. It was quite deep and quite spread, so not as easy as just dolloping a load in there. Sounds a bit fucking wrong, that. end up with messy patches on here, but I'm gonna try it just for the technique, testing the technique out on it. So on this occasion I've not really wiped away excess, but I've actually got quite a decent filling. Oh, I've put that in the wrong fucking one, haven't I? Interesting. Very interesting. That's way too fucking much on there. Put it on my fingers, bastard. Jeans. And maybe this way will work, because although I'm not wiping the excess off, when it comes to scraping the excess off, scraping the excess off, it's doing exactly what I need it to, at least on these ones. Kind of. I mean, I'm getting a good clean fill, but getting quite a spread around. Which may, we'll see if it sands off. Excuse me, sands off and cleans up. Okay, I've got a bit of a crack in there to deal with. Now I was going to say quite interestingly, but I don't think it is interesting, that the glue is drying a lot faster with the sawdust in it, which kind of makes sense really. But it's not something I'd really factored in. See how we get on here. That one needs more. I mean, I suppose one thing I could do with these is literally just splodge it on and then sand it down, but I mean, maybe that would be the way to do it. Maybe I'm trying to be too neat with it. But my concern with the splodge technique would be A, having lots to fucking sand down, and B, because of having lots to sand down, ending up pulling up what I've put in. I think that's going to need a little bit more. So please don't ruin what I've done already. So I can get this on it. I'm kind of thinking of this one here as sort of treating it a bit like if I was doing plastering, which I can't say I've ever done much of, but whenever I have, it's been shit. I never have ended up with a decent plastering job. But then, to be fair, I mean, the holes that I've been filling on plastering jobs have been fucking enormous. So it's not like you can just splodge a little bit in and it'll be fine. Now I've spent quite a bit longer on this than I was intending to, but so I don't mind spending a bit of time on it now. We'll see how that comes up after it's dried and cleaned. Yeah, I don't mind spending a bit of time on it now and trying the different techniques and stuff like that. Okay, let's go to the next biggie. Hold on there. Okay, so we've got these two bits on the end here, which were shit. The rest ain't too bad. I've seen worse. So it is mainly these bits here that are really poor. So part of me is wondering whether I should just try a splodge technique on one of them somewhere. But and this one could be a little bit awkward to get a nice shaping on it. Maybe that's where I'd struggled previously. So maybe this is one where I might benefit from splodging. Oh, I don't want splodging, yeah. Spreading, no. Get rid of this wasted bit there. Okay, let's get some sawdust on there. See, this one filled quite nicely, to be fair. This one definitely more awkward, but I'm going to leave that at that so that I can. That one's going to need sanding down because of the shape of it. It's difficult to get a smooth edge on it. Oh, there's any other bits on this side? Not that I can see. Okay. I'm probably going to run out of memory on my phone in a moment. I'll talk on changing. Okay, so this is the one I showed the other day where it was a piss poor repair. So let's see if we can get a nice fill in on here. Get some dust on them. Now, if these ones come up shit again, I'm going to be a bit annoyed. But because obviously, with pretty much all of these, I chose not to sand them out because it was hurting, and I opted for this approach, and it's taken a lot longer. So I mean, in hindsight, I may have been much better off going through the pain of sanding them, or only sanding a few at a time and really getting them done. Yeah, that needs a bit more. need to take that off first. Oh, well. I mean, it's interesting, on some bits this is working really well, and on other bits, I think the deeper ones, it's definitely a bit more awkward. Yeah, so like this one, it keeps trying to pull up. Trying to get it in there and really spread it around, but it's more like it's pulling itself up. Okay, so that is definitely a bit of a messy one, but let's see if I can really pack it in. See if I can really pack it in and then gently scrape it off, or at least get rid of the excess around the sides. That'll make it easier. Okay, not perfect, but we'll see how it comes up. Messy a bit, but at the moment I'll take messy. Okay, so there's some on the other side of that to do. Yeah, kind of take messy. Okay, sorry about that. Ran out of storage on the phone. So there's a lot on there. Get that tidied up a bit. Yeah, so as I was saying, in a way I kind of accept messy for full at the moment. Now, more than likely, knowing me, I'll try a number of these techniques and completely forget which one works best and have to go through the whole fucking process again at some point. Only bit to do on there. Right. Now let's check out these smaller bits. Oh, fuck, I thought I'd glued it down for a minute then. Right. Okay, side's not too bad. Yes, okay. I fucking forgot what it's called. Knot. Now this could be another one that could be awkward to sort out because of its shape, but should at least be able to make it look better than it was. Which way should I go? This way. A little awkward this because I'm going to end up knocking it fucking everywhere. I'll put most of it in. Okay, I'm going to leave that, because of the shape of that, I'm going to leave that one a little rough. Because I can sand into that one. Okay, well I was going to say maybe I was a little critical of myself yesterday or last night with my repairs, but I was very annoyed, and admit I've still got one more piece to have a look at. And of the repairs that I'd done, I was expecting them to have been a lot better than they were. So I think in many respects it's normal for me to have been annoyed by it. I mean, in hindsight though, I wouldn't have been able to get any polish and staining done today because that's a much longer time. It's a much more time consuming process, and I haven't got the time today. And I've got a bit of time to do this, but that's it, a bit of time. Okay, now again, because that one's on the angle, I'm going to give that a bit of time. You have to fucking clean up again. Okay, yeah, so this one did annoy me because there's a few bits on here that aren't great. But there's also this which I was working on, but I'll get that sorted out now because the techniques I've been using here today have been much more beneficial on this here. Yeah, so that has filled that a lot better. Obviously with this bit as well, I did, because it was such a big hole in it, I did have to fill it a few times anyway. So I wasn't really annoyed with this bit. I was expecting this bit to be awkward. And it's still being awkward a little bit. Okay, we'll see how that sands down. Let's see if I can get these bits done. These are only tiny little bits. They're tiny little bits, but they were annoying bits. Keep finding a few sticky bits, well not sticky bits but clumps. So I've often got a bit of glue in there, which is no surprise. Well, we'll see how that comes up, won't we? Right. I think I'm done for today because I've got a few things to do this evening, so I need to get ready for them. But hopefully that will have well, hopefully it will have sorted all of the bits that needed doing. We can hope anyway. I'm just trying to clean up some of the sawdust that's on the table. The less that's on the table, the better it is for me. So yeah. Now, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow that I'll continue on with these, because I've been waiting for a delivery to be able to do a bit of gardening, and that delivery came today. So depending on what the weather's like, we're doing a bit of gardening, because the garden's got a bit messy out there. So whereas everybody else is kind of been doing up their houses and their gardens, yeah, not touch the garden. Anyway, I'm done for today, so chill out, take it easy, don't drink too much, and I'll see you in a bit.